Hey, what's up, guys? It's Bye here with another Archer Commander video. Today, we are going to learn more about Artemisia together. I will share with you guys some of my recent tests that I have done to learn more about her. We also have the new Archer Commander, Amanitore, that coming out very soon. She will be available in the next Mightiest Governor event. I will tell you guys some of the options that you can do with Artemisia and Amanitore as well at the end. Um, so first, let's go into the first stats that I have done with Artemisia. So the first that I done with Artemisia is to attack on one target without any kind of like rage engine. So I did not have the razor sharp here. I did not have the burning blood here. So let's go and take a look at that battle report, guys. This is the one right here. So this is a battle report where I do not have any rage engine on my Artemisias. So let's go and take a look at the report here to see how long does it take for Artemisias to cast her active skill if she does not have any kind of a rage engine here. So 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So without any kind of rage engine, it takes Artemisia 14 seconds to cast her active skill. So you might be wondering, why does it matter? Like, why do I need to know how long does it take Artemisia to cast her active skill? Well, the answer lays on her force skill. When the commander rage meter reach 80%, there is 50% chance to silence her troop for 3 seconds. And at the same time, grant her troop 50% increased damage for 5 seconds. So let's say, go back to that report again. So in that report, it take Artemisia 14 seconds to cast her active skill. So 80% of her rage is around 10 seconds, right? So if her force skill trigger, and if she doesn't have any kind of rage engine, if her skill trigger at turn 10 or turn 9, right? Let's say turn 10, for example, right? Let's say if her force skill trigger at turn 10, I have a 1, 2, 3 second of silence right here before Artemisia casts her active skill. So those silent effects does not have any impact on her. So this is the reason why I want to find out how long does it take for her to cast her active skill. So 14 seconds without any kind of rage engine. So the next stats I want to show you guys is going to be this one right here. So this one, I added some more rage engine into her, I think in this report. So for that report, I am using the current Tan tree right now, which I do not have any point on the burning blood here, which gave me two rage every time at level 3. You get 6 rage every time my commander gang attack. I only maxed out on the razor sharp here, which grant me additional 9 rage after launching a normal attack. So after each normal attack, I am getting 9 more rage here. So this will definitely speed up my cycle of skill damage. So let's go and take a look at that report right here. This is a report for Barbarian level 21. So in this report, I want to show you guys how long it takes Artemisia to cast her active skill with one razor sharp activate only. So I am getting 9 additional rage every turn. So now it's taking me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So in here, in this one, it takes me 12 turns. 12 turns to activate my my skill, my active skill here. And I also want to find out that how long does it take for me to so in this report right here, you also see that Queen of Carrier also kick in. So when Queen of Carrier kick in, I was silent for 3 seconds. So let's find out when was its skill kick in. So Queen of Carrier here. So it will end of the next turn. So Queen of Carrier probably kick in at turn number 8. No, Queen of Carrier kick in at turn number 7. So Queen of Carrier would trigger in turn 7, right? So in turn 7 here, turn 7 it is trigger, but in turn 8 is that when it's taking effect. So in turn 8 here is the first turn that I got silent, which is the first second. So turn 8 silent, turn 9 silence, turn 10 silent. So 3 turn I was silent, right? So because in those 3 seconds I do not cast any active skill because I was still trying to gain more rage. Why is there? The 3 second silent effect from Queen of Carrier does not have any effect on me. So read the skill again here. When this commander rage meter reach 80%, there is a 50% chance to silence her troop for 3 seconds. And at the same time, grant her troop 50% increased damage for 5 seconds there. So the 3 second effect on Artemisia have a 0 effect on me right there because I still cannot gain enough rage yet for me to cast the skill. So it doesn't matter, right? So this is exactly the reason why I want to play around with how fast Artemisia can gain rage here. Maybe I can add another skill to because like I could try to cast the active skill at turn 11 here. So I think from what I'm seeing, sometimes I can cast the skill at turn 11 and sometimes I cast the skill at turn 12. So let's go here and take a look at the next time I can cast the active skill. Is it going to be turn 24 or is it going to be turn 21? So let's see here. The next time I am casting the skill again is in turn 23. Okay. So the next turn, it takes me only 11 seconds. It's going from turn 12 to turn 23. Yeah. So it kind of like fluctuates. Sometimes it's 11 seconds and sometimes it's 12 seconds for me to cast her active skill here. And that is the reason why it is important because you want to build her in a way so that you can negate the silent effect, right? So like maybe getting too much rage on Artemisia is not a good idea because, right, let's say if you're going to use Artemisia, let's say here, let's go back here, let's go back to the report again. So if you're going to use Artemisia, and let's say if you're going to cast her, if you like building her with a lot of rage, and if you're going to use her with like a second commander to like a support commander or like a skill time 3 commanders. Let's say if you can cast the skill at turn 8, you are most likely going to be silent at turn 6, right? Turn 6 right there. So in turn 6 you got silent, in turn 7 you got silent, in turn 8 you got silent again, and you had to wait. You are wasting 1 turn. You are wasting 1 turn right there because you're going to get silent. So when you are using Artemisia as primary, and if you build her right, you can negate her silent effect. You don't have to worry about her silent effect right there, right? So right here, maybe you can add another point. I would say maybe I could add another point into my Artemisia to get her a little bit more rage, but not too much so that I cast my skill too often, right? So this one right here. So maybe I can add another skill point from here as well. Maybe I can remove it one from here and adding in another skill here. Maybe I can do a little bit more tests here to see. Maybe I can reduce the skill casting time to 10 seconds. Maybe. So that is something you need to know, right? Especially for Artemisia, you need to know how often you can cast your active skill, right? I think if you can cast your active skill every 11 seconds, I think you can negate the silent effect from Artemisia, or maybe 10 seconds as well. Maybe I need to do some tests. So that is one test that I've done for her. That is if the 3-second silent effect can have any kind of impact on her if she is primary. And as long as you use her as primary, and if you don't put too much rage on her, the 3-second effect, the 3-second silence have a 0 effect on her. Okay, next one, I want to do a little bit more testing about the archer talent tree. So one of the skill from the archer talent tree is whistling arrow. When the army led by this commander contain only archer units, normal attack have a 10% chance to increase all damage dealt by 25% for the next 2 seconds. So my biggest question for this for putting point into the whistling arrow is that can the 25% damage increase from the talent tree can stack with Artemisia's 50% damage increase. So Artemisia's right here also have 50% damage increase when her rage is at 80%. She have 50% chance to increase all the damage by 50%. So I would did a lot of tests to find it out for you guys. Finally, I find one report where I can see both whistling arrow and Queen of Carrier activate at the same time. And I think it was at turn 47, I believe. So in turn 46, I think. So turn 46, I have a whistling arrow here, activated with 1 turn left. So I have a 25% damage increase right here. And my Queen of Carrier also going to be kicked in the next turn as well. And guess what? In the next turn, you are looking at 75% all damage increase right here. So Queen of Carrier and Whistling Arrow can definitely stack together. So that is very, very good right there, which is exactly what I want to see, right? If Queen of Carrier and Whistling Arrow doesn't stack, I will definitely remove that skill from the talent tree. So that is one thing I wanted to test for Artemisia's, is that the Whistling Arrow right here, right? So those are some of the few tests that I've done on Artemisia so far to learn a little bit more about her talent tree and to learn a little bit more about her force skill. So because when you're using Artemisia as primary with using defense talent tree, your rage engine is pretty low. You have very, very low rage engine, and most of the time you're going to cast your skill at turn 10 or turn 11. The 3, you do not need any commanders that have a skills that are immune to silence. Which bring me to Amanitore. So Amanitore expertise. Amanitore expertise can immune to silent effect. But if you cannot afford to expertise Amanitore, you can still pair Amanitore with Artemisia as second commanders. And you can still benefit from her other skill as well. And you don't have to worry too much about, oh, she doesn't have the immune effect. Like when you're using Amanitore as second commander to Artemisia, because Artemisia's rage engine is very, very slow, you do not need the immune to silent effect for you to be able to cast the skill. But if you can afford to get Amanitore expertise right away, what do you think? Do you think you should be using Amanitore as second commander to Artemisia, or should you be using Amanitore as primary? And I definitely think that if you could afford Amanitore expertise right away, you should be using Amanitore as primary and Artemisia as secondary. Why? So, if you have an Amanitore support commander, and if you can like somehow get more rage on her, maybe get like if you can get like a Horn of Fury on her, Amanitore primary support talent tree, with very, very good rage engine, you're going to be able to cast your skill every 6 seconds if you get lucky, or 7 seconds. So every 6 seconds you cast your active skill. It means that you're going to get to 80% rage engine very, very fast. What does that mean? Even higher chance of you to trigger Artemisia's force skill. And because you are immune to silent, you don't have to worry about you going to be silent because you have an expertise Amanitore. Now you want to get as much rage as possible so that you can get back to that 80% range of reach so that you can trigger your Artemisia skill again and again, and you can keep on that 50% damage increase properly all the time, right? If you're going to build your Amanitore and Artemisias correctly, I believe you can keep your 50% damage increase, I would say close to 95% of the time. That is if you can get a Amanitore expertise. If if you don't have a Amanitore expertise, it's gonna be an issue because when, let's say, if you can cast your active skill every 6 seconds, let's say, but like at like 5 seconds at turn 5, you're probably going to get silence, and now you're going to be silent for turn 6, 7, and 8, and now you can only activate your skill at turn 8 only. You won't be able to activate your skill at turn 6. So you are wasting 2 turns right there because of the silent effect. So that is a big change right there. Depend on if you can get a Amanitore to expertise or not, right? So in my opinions, without expertise, a Amanitore, put her as second commander with Artemisias. But if you have a Amanitore expertise, oh my god, I think a Amanitore and Artemisias secondary, I think it's gonna be a crazy combo, guys. And I just can't wait. The only thing is that I cannot afford to expertise a Amanitore unless I can win like 3 Mightiest Governor event back to back. I don't think it's gonna happen. But I just cannot wait. I just cannot wait to see what's gonna come with a Amanitore expertise and Artemisia secondary, guys. I think it's gonna be a crazy pair. Anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed the videos, and thanks for watching, guys.